Okay, now we're going to do the pectoral girdle bones. There's not much to know as far as the number of bones involved here, but the scapula here is very regular, has a lot of landmarks, a lot of attachment sites. There's just a lot going on with this bone. So we will start with the easy one, the clavicle. The clavicle has two ends, the sternal end and the acromial end. The sternal end is, well, it articulates with the sternum, and it has this kind of broad circular head here, the sternal facet. On the acromial end, you can see it flattens out. It's the acromial facet, and it articulates with the acromial process of the scapula. So the scapula, this is going to be the tricky one. So we'll start medially. Here we have the medial border. The medial border articulates so when it pulls back, it retracts the shoulders. So you have a muscle called the trapezius. It's kind of like a diamond shape. So it has fibers going in three directions that attach here, here, and here. So some of the fibers will pull the scapula up, called elevation. It's like shrugging your shoulders. Then we have the intermediate fibers that retract the scapula, pull the shoulders back. Imagine you're doing a row when you're lifting weights. That's retraction. Then we have depression. So if you're doing a lat pull down, that's depression of the scapula. The next part is the axillary border. Closest to the axilla would be this area. Then we have the acromion process right here. It's where it articulates with the collarbone, with the clavicle. We will take a look at the parts here. Here's the acromion process. We have the body. It's important to know there's a lot that goes on the front and the back when we get to the muscles. Then we have the coracoid process here. So there are a couple muscles that attach there. It doesn't do much as far as bone articulation through articulating with another bone, but muscular articulation, it does have a little bit going on there. Then there's the neck of the scapula. The neck of the scapula here has this articular cartilage here where it interacts with the head of the humerus. This is called the glenoid fossa. Let's see if I can show you the glenoid fossa. Glenoid fossa. So this right here is where the humerus sits. As if you have a dislocated shoulder. It's where the humerus slips out of this little notch here, and it has to be forced back in. We have the last one is the subscapular fossa. this slight indentation that gives it this curve. There's a muscle attachment that goes here. The subscapularis muscle, it's part of the rotator cuff, but it protracts the shoulder. Earlier we talked about retracting the shoulder. This is protracting, bringing forward. All right. Next we'll be going over the bones of the upper limb.